How did you end up going into travel ball and higher league? Today's guest is one of the fastest rising stars in college softball, KK Dement from Texas A&M. KK is a D1 softball All-America freshman first team selection, an NFCA Central All-Region first team honoree, and a member of the SEC All-Tournament team after a breakout freshman season that put her among the top young players in the country. She made history by setting Texas A&M freshman records with 18 doubles and 64 RBIs, ranking 4th all-time in program history in RBIs, while tying for the team lead with 16 home runs and posting a .743 slugging percentage. She's also earned SEC Co-Player of the Week honors, highlighted by a stretch where she hit .600 with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs in just 3 games. And if that wasn't enough, she's already been recognized nationally, landing at number 48 on the D1 softball preseason player rankings heading into the following season. From Selma, California to the SEC spotlight, KK is known for her power, clutch postseason performances, and ability to change a game with one swing.
So I started in like little rec ball leagues, and I only played 1 year of it. And then they were like, no, you gotta like start, go a little bit higher level. So I went to a travel ball team.
You said baseball, softball, ups and downs. How do you keep yourself going when you're on the down?
I mean, I kind of went through that. I went through that a lot, honestly, but I went through it this past season, earlier in my season, a couple months in. And I think just finding your safe spot, like I'm really big in my relationship with God.
What you notice on camera when it comes to like the reasons you get into a slump, and then show me the stuff you do to fix it.
So I think a lot of times I like to get way into this position where like my bat is going like this and it's not really working behind my back shoulder.
What do you say to people who maybe are not as adaptable or are fighting the type of change and skills that are required to move to different positions?
I say be open-minded. I feel like especially in college, there's gonna be kids that are, if not better than you.
Your normal swing that you would do for a changeup, would it just be the same as a fastball?
I think it would just, it'd be the same, and then I just have to sit there. And like, I feel like when you sit there, you're kind of like impatient and you wanna like, throw your bat at it, but I feel like the hover really helped me to like buy time.
So before you would just be flat-footed waiting,
like just waiting for it.
Versus now you have your foot there. Does that help you generate power, or is this more for accuracy? All right, on today's podcast, we have KK. She's an All-American softball player at Texas A&M. She's had tremendous success already for such a young age. And today we're gonna pick her mind to help younger generation athletes get the right mindset, get the right training, and get this right to be able to get to the same success or even better, but the right way, without having to go through some of the struggles that maybe she had to, so that way we can shortcut your success. So KK, if you had to put yourself back into, let's say, a 10-year-old, back to when you were young, playing softball, what would you think? Would you thought you've been at this level right now?
I mean, it's always a dream, and I was always the kind of person like, I know I'm good, but I didn't know if I was good enough. And kind of getting older and playing with older teams, and finally getting to like 16, and I was playing with the older girls, and I was like, okay, like if I can play with them, I can hang with anybody. So I kind of took that mentality and kept working, and now I'm here.
So let's say, when you're 10, what age did you start playing?
I was 8, I think. 8 turning 9, yeah.
So that was like pretty early when you're starting to play.
Yeah.
Did you go in thinking like, I'm just here to have fun? Or did you go in thinking like, oh, I have maybe family pressure to play or friends that are playing? What started you on your journey to softball?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. I had no idea of softball. Like, softball never crossed my mind. And we actually had moved into a different town, and my cousins lived across the street from me, and they played baseball. So like, I would always go play like wiffle ball with them. And I think it was my uncle that was like, hey, like she's actually kind of good. So they decided to put me in softball, and like that's kind of really how it all started. But honestly, without them, I probably wouldn't have even thought to even think about softball or even give softball a chance.
So your uncle saw that, hey, you have potential. Like there's talent here.
Yeah.
Was it more the hitting side? Was it more just the athleticism?
I feel like it was more the athleticism. I think just, especially because they're boys and they play baseball like their whole life. So me being able to like kind of like play to their level and like compete with them, I think he saw something. And, I'm really grateful that he did.
And so you started playing when you were 8. How did you end up going into travel ball and higher leagues?
So I started in like little rec ball leagues, and I only played 1 year of it. And then they were like, no, you gotta like start, go a little bit higher level. So I went to a travel ball team. Actually, sorry, I think I went to like another like lower travel ball team, and then right after that year, I moved right into regular travel ball when I was like 9 and 10. So I think that's when I kind of started to play better competition going up.
So you just leveled up. When did you start feeling like, oh, I'm gonna do this for a longer period of time?
I think it was when I decided, like when I would go work out by myself and I realized I'm the one who wanted to do it. Like I was begging my dad to go outside with me and play catch, or let's go to the field. And I feel like once I realized like I actually have a love and a passion for it, really.
So that's when you knew, you're like, oh, I actually want to do this.
Yeah.
I have so much time that I can spend doing things I like, and you chose to do this,
yeah.
Right? So if you have someone, let's go back to the younger generation here, 12 to 14-year-old kid who enjoys softball and does the things the coach tells them to do, but doesn't do the extra work, what would your advice be to them?
I would say to start putting in the work by yourself, and I feel like if you feel like you're forcing yourself to do it, I feel like there's really not a love for it. I feel like it's important to make sure you have a love for what you're doing, and if not, I feel like you'll be miserable. Softball and baseball is like a game of failure, so if you really don't love it, it'll tear you down. So I feel like it's really important to make sure that you love it.
Yeah. If you don't really love it, it's gonna tear you up.
Because there's times where I think about it, I'm like, man, like I really beat myself up for it, because in reality, like the thing that brings me back to it is the love for the game.
So, like you said, baseball, softball, ups and downs, right? Tons of ups and downs. How do you keep yourself going when you're on the down?
I mean, I kind of went through that. I went through that a lot, honestly, but I went through it this past season, earlier in my season, a couple months in. And I think just finding your safe spot, like I'm really big in my relationship with God, so that was my go-to, and also like talking to my dad. I'm a big person of like talking through things, and I like to rewatch at bats and rewatch what I did wrong to see what I can fix. So I think I did a lot of rewatching and trying to really go over the parts that I could fix on my end to improve.
So you said 3 things, right? What are the 3 things?
Sorry,
I might have misheard, but you said I always do these 3 things, or you always rewatch?
Rewatch. It was just rewatch,
okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you're analyzing yourself, you're on the down, you're trying to figure out what's wrong with either your swing or your mechanics or whatever. How do you figure that out? So walk me through your process.
I mean, a lot of times I'll go in and I'll watch them, and my dad's also really big. He likes to go in and overly rewatch all my videos and analyze them. So like, I'll watch them, I'll send them to him. A lot of times I'll talk to Ralph about it. Ralph will help me with that. Okay. I'm lucky enough, like all my coaches, we can go up to talk to them any time. And I did go up there and talk to one of our coaches, and he kind of, after that talk, everything changed, and I seen a switch in my approach and appearance in the boxes.
So you're watching yourself on the camera. What are you looking for?
Honestly, it's a lot of the times I have a slump. It's a lot of the same reasons, and it's either my.
Do you mind talking about some of your, I guess, bad habits or some of the reasons you get into a slump?
Hitting wise?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the times I'm too into my front leg. I get too handsy with my barrel. Like I'm not letting my barrel work behind my back shoulder.
Do you mind showing me with a bat? Yeah. So show me what you notice on camera when it comes to like maybe the reasons you get into a slump, and then show me the stuff you do to fix it.
So I think a lot of times I like to get way into this position where like my bat is going like this and it's not really working behind my back shoulder.
Right.
So a lot of times I'll just go back to T, basic, and then I like to go back to soft toss and then record that and kind of see, okay, how did I really work behind my back shoulder? Am I still doing the same thing? So I kind of like to just go back and forth and see if it actually changed.
So when you look at yourself on camera and you're doing too much of the forward press, then you know, okay, back to soft toss, go back to the fundamentals, the basics, record yourself, and then see if you're doing the right mechanics, right? So that can like rewire and you can get back to getting out of that bad habit. How do you know, can you like mid-game, can you feel like, oh, I'm going back to my bad habits?
Yes.
Is there something you can do like mid-game that can like get you back into the correct habit?
I feel like it's another thing of like feels and remembering how a certain drill felt. Usually I can feel it mid at bat if I step out the box. I can usually feel it mid at bat, so I'll usually step out and be like, kind of like think in my head, okay, I know that's not what it feels like, and it should feel like this. I feel like I do a good job of knowing what it feels like and how it should look. So I feel like just going over that thought process, I think that's what really helps me.
Okay. So a lot of people talk about like feel and real, right? Does feel and real, like, is it pretty close for you, or is there a separation for you?
I feel like it's really close for me. When it's not close is when I'm in my slump and I'm, you know, trying to do too much. I feel like a lot of times when I think of feels, that's usually when I do my best. So. Yeah.
Okay. So you can get your feels to match the reels pretty good. And then when you're in your slump, maybe there's more separation between the two.
And a lot of time I'm in my slump, I can kind of feel before like I'm getting out of my groove and out of my rhythm.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that is a natural process every athlete goes through? Or is that something that is athlete to athlete dependent?
I feel like that could be athlete to athlete dependent, only because I know some of my teammates or like prior teammates don't hit or like don't have the same like thought process I would have, and it's more of like instead of a feel, they have to like, I don't know, like maybe talk it out. Like they just have different ways of going about it.
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
So if you had to give advice to someone watching on how best to get that thought process correct for them, what would be your advice to them?
I would say continue to do it. Like do it almost every time you go into hit, just so it's like muscle memory at that point.
Okay.
So your body already knows what it feels like and how to actually do it.
So develop a routine that you can just repeat over and over again.
Yeah, I do that a lot pre-game. I do a lot of I do the same exact 3 drills, just so when I get to the game, I know what it feels like and how it should feel.
Yeah. Can you walk us through your 3 drills?
Yeah, so actually, okay, so I like to do a lot of stuck in the cement where my feet don't move, really working in my core.
Okay, so your feet are stuck, so you can't move them. Okay.
So I'll usually do about 5 or 6 swings like in this position, just regular. And then I'll move into my front leg swings, really just working on getting behind my front leg. So I'll do these, and then right after I'll just go into my regular swing and just keep those 2 simple same fills and apply them to my game swing.
So these drills you created because you know your, maybe not flaws, but you know your habits and your tendencies. So these prevent those tendencies.
Yes.
Okay. So if someone were to create their own drills, would that be really important, is to figure out your tendencies first and then do those drills that make those tendencies not happen?
Yes. And I think a lot of the time, a lot of athletes get caught up in like, oh, I'm going to do that because she's doing it and it's working for her. I feel like we have to understand like not what works for me isn't going to work for you, and what works for her isn't going to work for you. So I think actually like digging deep and understanding what you're doing wrong and learning how to fix it is going to help you.
Okay, that's super important. So how old were you when you developed these 3 drills?
I've always done them, but I really started to do it last year.
So last year you're like, okay, I got to figure out a routine to stay on target. And so this helps you stay on target.
Yes.
You said you were in a slump the first couple months of the season. You watched video.
Yes.
You had coach's input. You had your drills. What else did you do to get out of it, and how quickly did you get out of it?
It took me a couple series. Like we play series on the weekend, so I was maybe a couple weeks, 3 weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
So you can get out of it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
For someone who has been playing for a long time, there's a lot of thought process in like how quickly can you adapt to circumstances.
Yeah.
For you, how quickly can you adapt to circumstances?
I mean, I think with all the like challenges, like growing up playing softball, but softball's not an easy sport, so you always have to learn to adapt to the pitcher, adapt to the defense, like just certain things. So I feel like taking that and being able to apply it is really important, and I feel like that's something I really tried to harp on like this past year, is because like I had to move over positions, and I didn't want to be that person that was just like, oh, I'm not even gonna give it a shot. And I was more of the, I have to learn to adapt because not everything's gonna go my way and be how I want it to be. And I wanted to kind of make the best of my situation.
So what position were you in before, and what are you in now?
I was a shortstop, and then I moved over to second base. So not too different, but a little different.
So a lot of athletes, they get like, no, I'm a shortstop, I'm just a shortstop, right? I'm a catcher, I'm only gonna do catching. So what do you say to people who maybe are not as adaptable or are fighting the type of change and skills that are required to move to different positions?
I say be open-minded. I feel like especially in college, there's going to be kids that are like, if not better than you, the same level as you. I feel you just have to be able to be open to any position. I feel like there's not 20 positions on the field. There's 9. And
you
have
can't
to
just
be
be
able to
stuck
beat,
to one.
You can't be
right?
stuck to one. Yeah, that's what I would say.
You changed positions. And was that during your slump that you changed positions, or was that just a separate time frame?
No, it was like right when I like first got into college, like in the fall. Yeah.
And so when did things start kicking up gear and your success started just rolling?
So I did good in this like the first couple weeks of my season, and my slump was a little bit after that. And right after I got out that slump, that's kind of where I got my little rush of just
kept going and going. So if someone were to be watching like you and saying, hey, you know, you've had some success now, and now how are you going to build on top of that? How are you going to make sure that it doesn't slump back down? Are you changing anything, or you just continue to do the same thing? What's your future step?
I'd say just continue to do the same thing, and if not, do it better than I did before. I feel like my biggest thing, especially going into this year, is I want to be better than I was last year, and whatever I have to do to get there, I'm going to do it.
Right. So don't just be complacent. Keep learning and figuring out how to get better and better. So let's go back now. We're going to go back to now the 14-year-old who's like, okay, I want to go to D1. I want to play college softball. If you had to build them a roadmap, and this is tough because you're not a coach, but you're coming from the athlete perspective, right? You saw the challenges. I mean, there's so many distractions, right? Not even just college, even in high school, there's so many other obligations. If you had to build a roadmap for mindset for this 14-year-old, how would you build that roadmap? What would you tell them?
I would say, especially 14, like you're just starting high school, everything's new, everything looks fun and seems fun, and all your friends, like whatever they're saying seems just so exciting, and you want to be a part of it. But I just think you kind of have to sit back and think about the bigger picture. I mean, I missed out on a lot of high school fun just because I had practice, or I was flying out of state to play a tournament, or going to a camp, and I would never go back and change anything about it. I mean, you can have that same amount of fun in college once you get here, and I feel like you should just really be focused on the end goal. I feel like I gave all my high school years to the sport, and it's putting me in this position I am in now.
So there's a certain level of sacrifice that you have to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you don't love the game, then that's going to be difficult. But if you love the game, did you find that sacrifice difficult?
Honestly, no. I didn't really mind not going to, or not hanging out with my friends, or not, going to the school dance. Like, it wasn't really my big thing. And I think the love of the game was really what had me. Is I wasn't really worried about what everybody else had going on. I was kind of so focused on the goal to play college softball.
When did you because you mentioned you knew you wanted to play higher level. Did you always want to go to Texas A&M?
Actually, no. I was like I remember we had a tournament in Texas, and I was like, I'm not going to school in Texas. Like, I told my dad, I was like, it's too hot, like humid, I can't do it. And then I visited A&M, and it was just like, I just like fell in love.
Yeah. Before that, what were your top schools? Was it based on location, like where you wanted to be?
Honestly, I didn't really have a dream school.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to be able to play at the College World Series, or just be one of the top ranked teams in the country.
And do you guys played at the College World Series?
No.
This past season, you guys fell off early, right?
Yeah.
What is some of the goals for the team now into next season?
I mean, obviously the end goal is to win a natty, but I feel like this team has it. We definitely could do it, and I feel like all of us are in the right mindset and understand what it takes and what we need to do to get to that spot we want to be at.
When you look at your teammates, yourself, you guys already have a certain level of mindset, right? You guys are certain thinkers at this point. How big is coaching now compared to, let's say, coaching when you were in high school?
I think coaching is really effective now. I feel like just because there's so many different aspects of the game now, like especially like pitching wise or hitting wise, like all the different pitches and understanding what plane you have to get on to hit the ball, or how do I hit a changeup, or like just I think little things like that, like really being able to take them in and do something with him is really important.
Quick segment break, but you're going to want to hear this. If you're an athlete, coach, or parent, and you want faster reaction, this is where we start. This is called vector ball. This ball unpredictably bounces and it changes colors, red, green, or blue. We use this to sharpen the reaction time, focus, and coordination. And here's what makes it different. Whenever you see a different color, you can assign it to left, right, pass, shoot, adding a cognitive load, meaning that frontal lobe, while you're moving around, is making faster decisions. We use this with athletes every week, and we hardwire this decision making. Train your brain, train your eyes, dominate your game. Grab the vector ball in the link in the bio or scan this QR code to get started. Let's get back to it. A lot of those concepts, right, like certain skills that you develop later, do you feel like if you learned them earlier, they would mess you up? Or, because there's a lot of social media stuff out now, right? There's constant drills that are posted, 100,000 in probably a day. So younger athletes are looking at all these drills and they get confused. They're like, oh, which one should I be doing? You'll probably have like 20 in a day that says how to hit a changeup.
Yeah.
So in your concept, is too much information good, bad? How do you balance the information overload?
I feel like too early, a lot of information could be bad because you're trying to you want to impress the college coaches, you want to go play at the high level. So you want to take whatever you can and try to apply it to your swing, and then it ends up being too much. I feel like it could be better to wait maybe until you're at a higher level and that you need to apply those things. But I feel like at a young age, you might not always need to apply those big changes or certain ways to hit a changeup if that's not how it applies to you, if that makes sense.
Right, because you don't know if it applies to you. But at a higher level, you know your swing. It
applies,
like forward and backward, so you know what applies to you and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So they need to not do that until the fundamentals are in place.
Until they know exactly, why. Okay. I feel like the good thing is understanding why you're doing it. I feel like if you don't know why you're doing it, there's really no point in, I feel like there's no point in doing it.
That's very important, Why are you doing it? So something to keep in mind before you watch any drills, why are you doing it, right? So back when you were playing, there was still lots of social media and all that. Did any of that influence you? Was there certain things that were positive that you took away that got you to a higher level?
Really, I don't think I did a lot of the hitting side of it. I was more of the defense on little drills like the MLB players did and all the stuff like that. Those are the things I would look at more, but I never really
because that could apply to anybody.
Yeah, I never really looked into the hitting.
How did you get good at hitting? How did that process start for you?
Oh, I don't know. I used when I was younger, I hated to hit. I wasn't
Oh, you didn't like hitting?
Because I was always known as the girl who could field really good, and that was my thing. I was like, okay, but as I got older, I was like, okay, I want to be the girl that can I want to be able to do both. And then I came to Ralph, and it was I struggled in the beginning, just learning all the new things, and ever since then I've done way better. And now people are like, oh, she can hit, and I could always hit, but now it's wow.
Right now it's okay, you can really hit.
Took it up a little notch, but.
And how old were you when you started getting lessons from Ralph?
I want to say it was my end of my sophomore year of high school, so 15, 16.
So age 15, yeah. So that's a little later than some people, right? A lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you feel like initially there was a label placed on you where you're like, oh, she's the fielder, she's the athletic one? And what are your feelings on that label? When you get that label, does it stop you from trying to become better at different aspects of the game?
The type of person I am, I feel like when people have something to say about me, it kind of lights a fire in me. I'm going to show you I'm not that type of person you think I am, and I'm way better than that. And I think when people were telling me KK's the fielder, or comparing me to other people, oh, she's good, but she can, I kind of took that and I'm like, okay, you think I can't, but I know what I'm capable of. And I think that's what I kind of did this, my first season, is trying to prove to everybody, not trying to prove to everybody, but kind of just showing I am the player I thought I was. And
it's like that Jordan mindset, you talk trash to him and he proves you wrong. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people get labels and then they just set into their label, and they're just that's just who I am. They don't want to switch positions, or they don't want to make a change to learn a new skill or get better. But that's a good mindset to have, I think, for everybody is if someone is labeling you as such a way, prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like you did.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you feel like you need to work on in your game that would excel you to the next level?
Besides like the physical things like the hitting and fielding, I feel like mental gaming is something you can always work on, regardless of how good you are at your mental game. Just because, I mean, like I kind of said, it's a game of failure. Like you're gonna fail way more times than you succeed. So I feel like being able to understand it's okay to fail, and like I try to put the work in.
So how do you work on your mental game?
I've read a couple books about it, and like just going on like certain pages on Instagram, I follow a couple of them and kind of like look at them every day, and I feel like they kind of have me thinking like, okay, like that makes sense, like that's something I can apply to myself, or that's something like I could say when I'm in this moment, or oh, like this is right, like this is how I felt in this moment, this is how I can improve. Or
would you mind sharing some like details, like going deep on what you use out of that knowledge that you've accumulated through the books and the different pages? Mm-hmm. What have you actually used in your game?
I would say breathing. I feel like when you're younger, they do the focal point where you like kind of like twist your bat and like you look at the spot. I think that's good for like a lot of younger kids. I did that a lot in high school, and then once I got to college, I was like, okay, that's not. I've figured out like it wasn't really working for me anymore. Like
right.
I was in the box, but I was still not at my like calmest point. And I feel like when you're in the box, like you can't be anxious and hitting a pitcher throwing 70 at you. So I kind of took it and I like try to slow down the moment. I actually read in I think it's called The Inner Game of Tennis. Yeah. Kind of like how to slow the game down and not make too much of the moment. And I feel like this year I did a good job of it and trying to be the calmest I possibly could in the box. With taking a step out, taking a deep breath, realizing it's only as big as I make it.
Can you walk me through exactly how you do it? So let's say you're in the box. Mm-hmm. How do you get yourself calm?
So when I first step in the box, I'm just quick. I'll just look at the pitcher, deep breath in and out, and then I'll get in the box. And then like as the at-bat goes on, I kind of just take one step out the box. I'll look at my third base coach, and then I do the same thing, kind of, and then I get back in the box. And it just varies like a lot, but it always ends in a deep breath before every pitch. And I feel like that's really crucial in the game of baseball and softball.
And when you take the deep breath, are you intentionally like, is this something you practice every time, or is this something you just go with the feel? I
think it's a natural thing, like kind of like a feel. And I feel like that kind of helps me to just be calm and like, no, I'm okay.
Can you feel it? Like you feel a sense of like your muscles relaxing? Mm-hmm. What do you feel? I feel like a lot of the times like the crowd is really loud. So like when I'm in the box and you can hear everybody like screaming or whatever, like I feel like that breathe in is like a quietness. Like I feel like I calm down and I feel like the noise behind me gets quiet, and I feel like it's just me and You actually feel the noise level decrease?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is there any internal noise in you normally when you're up at bat?
Not really.
No. Never has been?
No, I don't think so.
And then let's say you take your deep breath and you feel calm. Mm-hmm. Are you then just reacting? You're just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm.
Do you add breathing in your routine, or is it just something you do when you're at the box?
There's breathing. Our whole team actually does it in the dugout before we go. I don't know if it's on deck. In the hole.
So everyone does it together?
Mm-hmm. Like right before, like it's like a line process. So like if you're like fourth, you sit there and you breathe and you go like.
Can you walk us through that process? Is that something you're okay to share?
Yes. So there's the person in the box, there's on deck, then there's the hole, which is the person that's about to go out there on deck. And then after that, whoever's up next will sit there, do their breathing, and then it kind of like trickles down. And
so what is the breathing that the coach teaches?
Oh shoot. It's like.
Is it each person does their own?
I mean,
I kind of like. Specific one?
I kind of stick to my own.
Okay.
But there is a specific one, but I stick to mine.
What is the one that they usually teach as a generic? Well, if you're not allowed to talk about it, it's okay.
No, I'm trying to figure out the right number.
Okay.
I think it's 4, 7. I don't know. This is bad.
So is it like 4-second inhale?
Yeah.
And then like a 7-second exhale?
And then it's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're just doing that on a
You just sit
repetition?
there, yeah, you just kind of sit there
Okay.
and do it until.
Is there anything that you learned at Texas A&M that you didn't know before that has helped your game?
Are you talking about like?
I'm talking about anything in softball. Whether it be mechanics, hitting, mindset, any of the stuff that's helped you excel.
I would say a lot of the hitting things, like a lot of the how to hit certain pitches and different like swing planes and understanding the types of plans you have to have against elite pitchers and the mindset you have to have going into really big games. I feel like that's something I really.
So let's say changeup. You mentioned changeup before. What is your thought process on hitting a changeup now?
So I hover now in my load. So I kind of like try to let my front foot slide as long as I possibly can.
Okay.
And then once I hit, a lot of the times my foot kicks back. So kind of like creating space and giving myself time. I feel like that was my biggest thing. And I actually did it a couple times this fall, so.
Can you show me your normal swing and then show me the hover technique that you use?
So my actual swing would be like that. And then if I were doing like, if it was a changeup, I'd sit here and give it time for the changeup time to get to me.
So you wouldn't put your foot down right away?
As soon, yeah. So I
So
kind of
when
like
would
give
you
time.
put your foot down? Is it just like based on feel?
I think it's just like it depends on where the ball and how fast the changeup is coming at me.
Okay.
I feel like being able, as long as I'm able to sit in here, I can kind of like control how long I need to sit in it. So I feel like right as I can tell, like, okay, maybe I shape my foot down, my foot goes down.
Okay.
And then.
And how do you know it's a changeup versus a fastball? Like, how do you know you're gonna hang back?
Honestly, I think about that all the time because it just comes so, like everything's just so fast. But I think a lot of the times it's just the spin of it, or you kind of a lot of the times you can feel it, like when the pitchers throw the changeup at you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So right at the release point, you start feeling like, okay, I feel like this is a changeup, so I'm gonna wait longer.
Yes.
Okay. And that's when you make the decision. So before that, what would be your normal swing that you would do for changeup? Would it just be the same as a fastball?
I think it was just, yeah, it'd be the same. And then I just have to sit there. And like, I feel like when you sit there, you're kind of like impatient and you want to like, kind of like throw your bat at it. But I feel like the hover really helped me to like buy time. And kind of sink it, yeah.
So before you would just be flat-footed waiting.
Like just waiting for it.
Versus now you have your foot there. Okay. Does that help you generate power or is this more for accuracy?
I feel like it does. It helps me generate a lot of power by sitting in my leg and kind of just transferring it all into my front leg.
Okay, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. How important is timing and how do you work on timing?
So actually in high school, like that would always be my biggest like downfall is my timing was always off. Like my swing could be the perfect swing ever and my timing was always off. And that's kind of another reason why I started my hover is being able to, I feel like when I'm in my hover and a lot of times this last season, I started it earlier, like before the pitcher let go of the ball, so I could kind of like give myself time to identify where the ball would be and like where do I need to land to hit the outside pitch, or do I have to buy some space and hit it out in front of me. So I think the hover was a good thing with my timing, and again, like with the changeup, I feel like it helps a lot with the changeup.
So the hovering helped you with the timing. So how did you, because you hit really well in high school too, how did you work on timing back in high school before changing the technique?
So my junior year, I really couldn't, the problem was I couldn't hold my hover, I couldn't sit in my back leg as long as I can now.
Yeah.
And it could be just because it was so new and I was still deciding if I should trust it or not. High school, my junior year was kind of rough just because I was a little slower in pitching. My senior year, I kind of got the hang of it a little bit, and it was like kind of so-so, but yeah.
I mean, going back, you're probably looking at where you're at now to before, so your perspective changes, right? But at that moment, you probably thought you were hitting pretty well.
Yeah.
Right?
I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But.
So when it comes to like swing changes, you've gone through a couple swing changes. Obviously, even now you went through another swing change. How do you make it so even during swing changes, the progression is going up rather than going so up and down?
I feel like it comes with trusting the person who's trying to help you out. I feel like when I came to Ralph in the beginning, I was like, okay, Dad, like it's not working, like. But then I like had to sit with him and be like, okay, it's not gonna come the next day. Like I kind of have to work at it and keep doing it. I'm glad I did because it put me in the position I am now, and I feel a lot more confident
Do you feel like a lot of people go through that, where they just constantly change coaches because they feel like it's not instantly working?
Yes, and I feel like a lot of times that's the problem. I feel like you don't give people enough enough chances to like actually help you, because it's not going to happen the next day. And I feel like once you move to a lot of people, you're telling them a lot of different things, and it might not work for you. And also, I think it's the listening to what other people say, like, well, this coach is good and that coach is good, but like that coach could be good for that kid's daughter and not your kid. So I think that you have to find a balance and find who works best for you and trust their process.
That's the hard part, right? Trusting the process.
Yeah.
So for you, you figured out pretty early that you got to stay consistent, stay with the coach that you had until it worked.
Yeah.
How do you know if like the coach is not going to work? Like, how long do you wait till you kind of give up and move and find a different coach?
I feel like if your results after a couple months aren't like changing, I feel like you should. I've seen a lot of quick results in my swing, so that's kind of like more of the reason why I stayed. But I feel like if your swing is progressively getting worse after every lesson and you're really not learning anything or you're not taking anything from it, I feel like that's when it's best to change.
So within 3 months, you should notice an improvement. And if you're not, then it might be time to switch.
Might be, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you would like to add as a word of wisdom or advice for the younger generation looking to kind of get into that D1 softball and higher level play?
I would just say trust the process. It's not going to be easy. You kind of have to have the love for the game, and you'll be just fine.
All right, you got to have love for the game. I think it just starts there, right?
That's really the whole thing. If you have love for the game, it'll just come naturally.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I'm excited to see even more winning on your side.
Thank you. Thank you.
And hopefully a natty come in future.
I hope so.